Hi everyone, my name is Bishar Abdullah. In this series of videos, I'm gonna be taking you through a simple demo of creating, managing, securing, and socializing your API using IBM API Connect. I hope you will find this demo interesting and informative. In the first demo of this series, I'm gonna show you how to start creating and securing your APIs. So let's get started. And before diving into each component of the setup that we will need to perform, let's take a look at the big picture and how things are organized in API Connect. You can see here a very high level overview of the main component and their hierarchy. We have a provider organization. It's the organization that provides the APIs. And within this provider organization, we have one or more catalog. Catalog provides a logical partition within your provider organization, as well as the developer portal and the gateway executing the APIs themselves. You can use a catalog to segregate each environment within your software development lifecycle. For example, if you want to create a stage environment, dev or production, and so on. And then we have spaces are the part of API Connect syndication feature that allow you to subdivide your catalog into partition. And then we have a product within this catalog. The product will be the offering to your end consumers, so they should be logically grouped as one offering. And each product must contain at least one plan that provide different offering to different consumers for the APIs. You can have one or more of these components, and all these components are required except the spaces, which are not required. Hopefully, this gave you a high level perspective and to provide some clarity on how you can structure your environment. So let's start it by creating our first component here, which is provider organization. To create provider organization, you need to access the Cloud Manager UI. From this page, the administrator can configure the cluster and construct the cloud topology. And to create provider organization and manage organization from here, as you see, we don't have any provider organization. And before add any provider organization, we need to connect to email server to allow the provider organization owner receive the email with the details that they need to access the API manager. So to configure that, we go to the resources and then notification. As you see here, we don't have any email server yet. Create. I'm gonna stop the video and create this information and back again to our demo. Now the main server is configured. To use it, I have to select it from cloud settings and then notification. From here, I should add the default email servers that we have added before. So let's edit this one and then choose the albums provider. From here also you can edit your sender email and the name of sender. Let me save it. And once we have our email server, let's back to the resources to delete the local mail server from here. The prerequisites are completed, so we can add provider organization. Back to the home page and then manage organizations, add and create organization, provide a title for this organization. It's got album provider. And for the user registry, I'm gonna choose API Manager User Registry. And I want to create new user, provide a username. Let me copy this one. And for the email, gonna provide this one. First name and last name. Then for the password, let's just copy, paste, and then create. Okay, now we have our organization. Let's refresh this one. As you can see here, album provider is created, and the provider organization now will be the foundation for all other components that you will define with this provider organization. The owner of this provider organization can now invite other users to the API manager to start developing and managing APIs. So let's go to the next step of this process, which is create catalog within this provider organization. To create a catalog from API manager is a registry, and provide the credential that we have created and then login. From manage catalog, add and create catalog. Let's name it web catalog. Then create. We have now the catalog. So we're ready to create and manage our API. To do that, let's back to the home page and then choose develop APIs and products. Then add API. From here, you can see many different options, and since I have my backend service URL, I will select from target service and then next, provide a title for the service, base path. You can add any path that you like it. I'm gonna remove it. For description, just say direct albums. And for the target service, we'll add our URL of the backend. And then next, for the securing client ID, I'm gonna show you how to do that later. So next, edit API. And now our first step is to configure basic security before exposing the API to other developers by creating either client key and secret key or basic authentication. To do that, we're gonna choose security schema and then add a name of this. Let's call it client ID. And you can choose a basic API key auth2. I'm gonna choose API key, and the type is client ID. Located, you can choose a header or query. I'm gonna choose header. Variable name, client ID, and then create. Also, we need the client secret as well. Now I have created the security schema for the client ID and client secret. To use them, I need to apply that schema to the API security. To do that, we're going to go to the security and add the client ID and secret ID, create. So now we have the security is applied. Let's see the path. Now my URL backend service is just only for get method, so I don't need the other operation. I'm gonna remove all of this and keep only the get operation. So let's delete it. Now let's save the changes. Our basic configuration for API is ready to test it. So to enable the tab test, we need to make our API online. So let's go to the test. As you can see here, the client ID and the client secret are provided. We need just to send a request and see the response we have received. And also the HTTP code is 200. Okay. Let's see the Gateway tab to add some policies, which are the basis of configuration that invoke a specific type of action or message. They provide security and validation, logging, routing, and transformation of data from one format to another format, for example, from XML to JSON, from JSON to XML. And as you see here, the invoke policy is one of the most heavily used policy types. Suppose we want to hide some information for security reasons, such as protecting sensitive data. So one way to protect this data is to redact it. This could mean to strip out the sensitive data or simply mask it with some special characters. The good news policies provide a built-in policy to do this for us with minimum effort. So simply drag this policy into the policy plate and provide some information here. And before provide any of this information, let's back to test our response to see which field that we want to redact it. And suppose we want to redact it the artist name, and let's back to the gateway and then redact. Let's specify the path and the action. If you want to remove or redact, I'm gonna choose this one. Let's save the changes. The final step to complete the redaction functionality is to drag a parse policy just before redact so that the API Connect will parse the incoming request message for the redact policy. Let's drag it here and let's save the changes. Okay, let's back to the tests again and send a request. As you can see here, we hide the artist name from our response JSON. As a result of this demo, I have my product and it's ready to publish it and make it available to the developers. The next video, I'm gonna show you how to create and access the developer portal as well as publish this product to the portal. You can find all the resources used in this video in the description below. Thank you for watching and see you in the next demo.